Western African, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Gambia, Nigeria, colonized by British. La 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 la, la 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 la, Gambia, Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria, colonized by British.
This is TheRecent TV. My name is Said Azan Kamaldin. You are welcome to another beautiful episode of EduTalk, a program that promises an insightful discussion on the latest issue in the educational sector, especially focused on secondary and tertiary institutions. On the topic, the WAEC transitioning into computer-based test examination. Sir, please can you say hello to the viewers?
Hey everyone, I am by name AbdulBasheet. I am the National President of the National Association of Kwara State Law Students, National Headquarters. I'm glad to be here today. Thank you.
You are welcome, Barrister. Double as the President of the National Association of Kwara State Law Students, Mr. AbdulBasheet. This topic that you are going to be talking about this evening, the WAEC transition into computer-based test. I think this move was long overdue considering the global trends in education and examination.
Thank you, the host. I am delighted to share my thoughts on this very timely issue, which borders on the transition of WAEC from paper-based testing to computer-based testing. And the issue you asked me to iron out is the opportunity, challenges, and features of the secondary school examination.
Yes.
But before diving into your question, I think it is pertinent for us to know the historical development of WAEC, West African Examination Council.
Thank you.
So it pleases me to let you know that WAEC came into existence in 1952. And this examination is aimed to, you know, to address all the English-speaking countries in West Africa. I wrote a poem sometime 2 years ago to my youngest one, and the poem borders on West Africa. And when we are talking about WAEC, it borders on countries that are in West Africa.
Yes.
So in that poem, I was able to colonize all the West Africa into a single poem. And it goes by saying, Western Africa, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Gambia, Nigeria, colonized by British. La 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 la, la 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 la, Gambia, Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria, colonized by British. The point I'm trying to make here is that when we are talking about WAEC, there are countries that are under WAEC, and we have like about 5 countries. Libya just joined later after the those 4 countries I mentioned, the Ghana, the Gambia, Sierra Leone, and Nigeria. Libya joined around 1974. So now to the gist that is this computer-based testing
is long overdue.
I believe the answer should be yes. And no. Why it should be yes and no? Then we have to answer that in the Nigeria context. Now in Nigeria context, we are not ready because with the infrastructural way of having things in Nigeria now, we have not raised to that levels of technology whereby we can conduct a WAEC in that manner. But if the answer is yes, then it is pertinent to remind us that even the National Policy on Education 2020 already emphasized that as ICT is the core learning, is the core way of learning things. And if you look into it very well, you will see that, in fact, most especially the standard way of doing things right now in abroad and some other states is by CBT. And for us to have that levels of maturity as far as WAEC is concerned, then we must make sure that WAEC also reaches to that level. Because for imagine, if you want to do TOEFL, you want to do GRE, you want to do STAR, all are CBT. Why would WAEC lag behind?
People are advancing.
So Nigeria should level to that stage so that we have CBT examination conducted without any fear of malpractice. So the answer to that, like I said, is yes and no. So it is yes in a global view, and it is no in Nigeria context because Nigeria are not ready.
Thank you very much, Mr. AbdulBasheet, for that insightful response. I really appreciate it, most especially the poem you read for us now. Now, Mr. AbdulBasheet, according to your analysis, you said Nigeria is not ready or Nigeria is ready. It is based on the context of Nigeria. Thank you very much. Do you think this CBT is going to reduce examination malpractice compared to this paper-based test?
Yes, in my own opinion, it's going to reduce examination malpractice, and not only examination malpractice, even impersonation during exam. I can remember when I was writing my own WAEC in 2016. Then you must have written your WAEC like 2 years or 3 years ago. Now the point is that we have issues of people that impersonate, that they call them machinery, you understand? I wouldn't know if this is the language, but that's the language we grow up to know. That they will just,
introduce someone to come and write
on behalf of another person, whereas the person will not come. So if it's going to be CBT, of course CBT require biometric capturing, whereby your biometric is going to be topping is going to be there. So once you want to do want to register for WAEC or during the examination itself, on that very day, you are going to topping so that you have access to computer, and they detect that you are not the person on the dashboard. Then definitely it's going to cause malpractice in that way. Going to call my practice in that way. So I believe that CBT, if WAEC can be computer-based test, then it's going to reduce my practice.
Thank you very much.
And I think there is this one scenario that happened when I was doing my WAEC at the Kyode then. The scenario was very funny, you understand? And we are still talking about my practice. Then I think the invigilator that had to come on that very day, it has been coming over time, and they have already taken judicial notice of him that whenever he comes around, it doesn't allow people to cheat. He was so mad that people find cheating and all. So and the information got into them that this person is coming. So one of the students that we are meant to write the exam together said that okay, and the man will not come. Just because the man will not allow us to cheat. So the man will not come. And before we know it, lo and behold, the man did not come. Ask what happened to the man.
What happened?
He said the man slept in the car.
Wow.
And the car drove him to
another place.
And before he realized, we have already reaching
exam.
So that is not going to be applicable in CBT WAEC. And hence it will use the examination malpractice.
Thank you very much. I believe with what you have said now, your own perspective is why this CBT examination is going to reduce the rate at which examination malpractice is being done. Thank you very much. Mr. AbdulBasheet, if I may ask, how will WAEC address the issue of computer literacy, most especially for those students who are in the rural areas that have not had access to computer academic before, since their basic level of education?
That's a very fantastic question. And I would love to answer that question from legalistic perspective.
Thank you. As a barrister that you are.
Under Section 18 of the 1999 Constitution, what the law says that every child has equal right to education and adequate education. Now, the question is, what happens in a situation or in areas whereby students without electricity or internet were predominant. How do we want to address those issues? People at the rural area, they do not have access to computers like we have it in Ilorin and some other places. I told you that I did my exam WAEC then in Fagbe and then Okiode. So I know how people see us. We that came from
the
Ilorin,
town.
they see us as kind of colonial master that came to colonize Nigeria the other time. You understand? Because we are already advanced.
The kind of respect that they
Yes,
accord
because
you.
we have been used with system before I did my exam that requires CBT now. You understand? I have
You
had
already have
access
the knowledge of
to
computer.
computer. I school at Ojagboro
Government
secondary school, whereby we have a particular building dedicated for
computer lab.
Computer lab, my brother. So in that computer, we have been used with the way of operating computer. All these people they lack this computer access. So I do not know how they intend to make sure that these people are computer literate in order to have their exam done according to WAEC and CBT. So now in a situation whereby the law is saying that every child has right to education and adequate education. Now in a situation whereby people in rural area they are of disadvantage because they do not have access to this, won't that amount to discrimination under section 4 of the 42 of the constitution that prohibits discrimination about amongst ourselves? Because at the end of the day, the people in the city we have more advantage over the people in the rural areas. In fact, it can lead to a failure, a mass failure in rural area.
Yes.
So the person that is living in class in rural area, it's possible for him to become
the lowest
student once the result release because he doesn't have access to computer while in a rural base. So I think a lot has to be done because we do not have all these things in place. The WAEC should intensify effort to make sure that these people they are introduced into the technological literacy. Yes.
Thank you very much. In Nigeria that we are now, we have a lot of challenges when it comes to these internet stores, when it comes to electricity, we have challenges. So what strategies do you think WAEC should put in place should in case this system is to encounter a challenges during the examination?
One thing that is very paramount to know as far as law is concerned, this is CBT. It is computer related.
Okay.
And it is possible for hacker to invade into questions and some other things. Now, it is pertinent for WAEC to know that under Data Protection Act, under Data Protection Act,
is your mother you are quoting. I really you are backing every point.
They must know that it is very important for them that all the data of the people that register for WAEC are saved. If all their data are not saved, they can be lied. One, they must protect that. Another one is that under Cyber Crimes Act, then they must also know that they have the duty to protect their base for any invader or hacker to intrude into the website of WAEC so that at the end of the day, all the effort of WAEC will not be in futility.
What about the challenges of electricity?
That one, I wouldn't know. I think, you see,
on that one is a context. I just
have to laugh. Under the Nigerian Communication Act 2020, you see, that act envisioned that there should be nationwide connectivity. But we all know the reality. The reality in Nigeria is very obvious that we have unstable network. We do not have electricity. It's 24 hours electricity. We do not have it in Nigeria. So imagine that we are now want to conduct a WAEC where in a rural area where there is no electricity, or the electricity is not reliable, electricity that they will bring now and they will take off in the next few minutes. You understand? And the WAEC, you have like 3 hours or thereabout to even answer questions. So I do not know how you are going to succeed in this aspect. But I advise that I hope that Nigeria we are moving forward, and I hope that everything is going to come into play.
Okay, thank you very much. Sir, if I may ask again, please, what role do you think government, schools, and even parents should play in supporting this transition?
Yes, I think we all have the collective responsibility. Under Section 19, Sub 2 of the 1999 Constitution as altered, the Nigerian government has rights to promote science and technology. And under WAEC Act, Cap W4 LFN 2004 empowers WAEC to conduct examination. And it is this power that gives them the right to conduct the examination in this innovative manner, CBT. So if at all these things have to come into place, WAEC has done their own by trying to metamorphose from traditional way of writing things to technologically way or civilized way of writing the examination. Okay. Now the government has given them power to do so because it's the right of the government, like I said, under the things of two to promote science and technology. Yes. Now the burden now lies on the parents to make sure that they provide adequate gadgets for their students or for their children, so that before the exam they must have been well comforted and acquainted with the use of computer. I remember when before I wrote my JAMB, my dad put me into computer training center so that I must have abreasted myself with the way of using computer by mouses and some other thing like that. And we wrote the exam and we passed. So this is what we employ every other parent to do, and students too, which are, children, they should be obedient and they should be ready to learn technologically.
Thank you very much, Mr. Basheet. Please, if I may ask again, what training should the teacher receive in adopting this CBT?
One thing is very important to know. This is 21st century. It become a taboo, an aberration for anybody to not have been digitally literate. That's the point I want to make. It become a kind of misinformation by the time we are now hearing that teachers are not even learning technologically. So I will advise that the government should provide a technical center, or they should try to incorporate into the training they will be training our teachers. They should have access to all these computers. They too should be abreast with the use of computer, and so that they can equally pass it to their.
Thank you very much. Conclusively, what advice will you give to students who are preparing for CBT exam for the first time?
Well, like we have been saying, they should inculcate the habit of trying to be ready to learn technologically. They have access to everything. All these things can be done on a smartphone. And I don't think that there is a children now that do not have access to smartphone. Even if a children does not have, it's probably possible that your elder brother or your elder sister has, that you can actually use that to do the practice before the WAEC CBT. So I believe they should be ready to learn. They should use their smartphone, brilliantly and logically. A lot of people use their smartphone in a bad manner that does not even help them grow educationally. So I will advise that since they have access to smartphone, there is nothing that cannot be done. All what that can be done on system can equally be done on the smartphone. So if that is the case, I think they are good to go.
Thank you very much. Dear viewers at home, we are on EduTalk program, the program that promises an insightful discussion on the latest development in education sector, most especially focusing on secondary and tertiary institutions. The guest we have on the studio this evening is President of the National Association of Kwara State Law Students, that is national level, Barrister AbdulBasheet Obisesan, and he has given us an insightful explanation on the topic WAEC transitioning from paper-based test to computer-based. We have come to the end of the show this evening. Once again, my name is Said Azan Kamaldin. Till next time we meet, I say goodbye.